This is Marco Amaya. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to address how cancel culture is retarded, and it's just super disappointing, and to see all these companies and businesses pandering constantly. Right now it's pandering to black people and Black Lives Matter, and just apologizing for everything, and every single thing is racist. Logos are racist, colors are racist, my black hair is racist because it's black. It's just lunacy, lunatic level insanity, clown world. Just everything you look at is racist, right? And that's how they're manipulating black people into thinking that there's this systemic oppression everywhere because they keep being told in the media that everything is racist against them. That's how they manipulate black people. And it's sad because it shouldn't be that way. We're all one human race. Why are we dividing ourselves into these skin colors like it matters? It doesn't matter. See, when I say my culture, right? When I think about what my culture is, I think about all the people in my life, all the people in my family, all the people at work, all my friends that I know, just all the people out there in America, just in the world. My culture is very diverse and has all these different things going on, right? But why is it that a lot of black people, right, when they say my culture, they're talking about it's just their black skin color. It only includes the skin color black. Okay? And that's all there is, and that's all their culture is. It's almost like they're like brainwashed into being in a separate entity or a separate world, right? It doesn't make sense. We're all part of the same world. See, and that's the problem, is that if black people keep looking at themselves differently than everyone else, and isolating themselves mentally and spiritually from everyone else, thinking that everyone else is out to get them, what happens is they start hating everyone else, right? And I'm not saying all black people think like this, no, because some of them haven't fallen for the propaganda. I'm exposing how the media is promoting this divide and making black people think that there's white people out to kill them every day. That's complete bullshit. That is not true. Black people everywhere in my life that I've seen, and I grew up in this country, okay? Everywhere I see them, they're respected people. Black people are highly respected people, okay? And actually, in fact, people are so afraid to be called racist that black people are treated even better. Because why would, obviously, if people are pandering all the time, and all these companies are pandering to black people, apologizing for everything, that even things that don't even matter, right, at all, they're, of course, that results in people being scared, right, of offending black people everywhere, because people are so brainwashed, right? Now, that to me is very strange. And then at the same time, it's turning black people into a culture into believing, right, that they can't be criticized. So just because they're black. So now everything is racist, right? If you do anything that's criticized as a black person, right, then you're a racist automatically. It's stupid. It's completely retarded, right? Because it has nothing to do with skin colors, right? Because for example, George Floyd, right? They use this for this whole Black Lives Matter thing, right? Because a white cop killed a black dude, right? But what's with the obsession about the race to begin with? It's really just a shitty cop kills a guy, okay? And a guy that didn't deserve to be killed. Why is it all about the skin color, right? And then at the same time, there's no proof that it was racist, that it was a racist act. It was just assumed automatically because everyone's imagining racism in their heads because the media keeps saying it's racism, okay? So then they say, oh, well, yeah, obviously it was racist. Where's the proof of that? George Floyd knew Chauvin. There could have been a motive behind the killing. We have to investigate that stuff, right? And then when I pointed out that on Facebook, I pointed out, George Floyd actually was in the porn industry. For some reason, the mainstream media wanted to hide this information. What if there's something important that we need to know about George Floyd that they're hiding from us, right? Just a simple fact, right? automatically black people sending me death threats for weeks, sending me, oh, you need to die, blah, 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 you're a piece of crap, you're a white supremacist and all this. I'm not even white, right? Right? So that's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's a fact, okay? And it's ridiculous because I actually care about black lives. I actually care. See, Black Lives Matter doesn't care about black lives as they say they do, because they ignore the biggest killer of black people, which is abortion clinics and Planned Parenthood. Millions of black babies being killed. Okay? That's millions of black people that don't exist because of that racist, horrible organization. Okay? That organization actually hates all people. It's not just black people. They hate all people, right? But if it's the biggest killer of black lives, why does Black Lives Matter ignore the biggest killer of black lives? It's the most ridiculous. It's obviously because Black Lives Matter is a fraud. It's a political movement. Okay? They're trying to get black people to vote for socialism and Democrats. Because socialism is actually going to result in more enslavement that the black people are trying desperately to run away from, right? Because obviously people are enslaved right now, right? But there obviously people are always referring to the slavery of 150 years ago, which was a black man on a farm picking cotton, right? And that was slavery, and that's over. And that's already over, right? Obviously, right? And only 2% of white people actually had slaves back then, okay? So obviously white people can't be punished today when most of the people today are results from immigrants after that. And on top of that, the very few white people that have ancestors that had slaves don't have slaves now. They're not responsible for it, right? So they can't pay for reparations, okay? And so all this stuff is reparations. That's what it leads to, right? You know what that leads to is that black people are simply going to be put on the government farm, so that the government is what's going to tell black people how much money they're going to make and how much money they're going to get and when they're going to get it. See, that's a different form of slavery. You're just replacing an old form of slavery with a new form of slavery, depending on the government, which is actually just going to take money from you, from black people, because black people are taxpayers. So they're taking money from you to pay for your reparations. What a joke. What a joke, right? And even if you said, oh, we'll just print money out of thin air, right? Which is what the Federal Reserve does all the time. That's what they would probably do if we ever had reparations, right? For black people. If they printed all that money, well, guess what? That just means the value of every dollar is worth less because there's more dollars in existence, which is happening constantly in inflation. So if you create more welfare programs to create more money out of thin air, that means that all the money in the pockets of black people are going to be worth less. So it's a screw job. See, Black Lives Matter is a screw job on black people. And that's all it is. Because if you want to know how to really empower people, black people and all people, because we're all one human race, once again, we're a family, we're in this together. You got to be independent. Independent, not dependent, independent. Stop expecting some rich dude to just give you some money for doing nothing, okay? Because you're not a victim of slavery. You're not. And is racism real? Yeah, there is some racism, and guess what? And there's people in every skin color that's racist. And it's a super small percentage of people, super rare. It's so rare, right, that I personally have lived in 3 states my whole life. I've seen different towns and cities. I have never seen or witnessed a single racist event in my life. In my life. Never experienced it. Never seen it. It's got to be super rare. Otherwise, I would have seen it by now. Okay? So, this cancel culture is assuming that everyone's racist and that's why everything's offensive and racist. No, that's a complete exaggeration. Bullshit. Doesn't exist. Okay? That's ridiculous, all right? And of course, there's movies coming out, and people need to be independent financially, right? And they also have to be independent mentally, because you can't just be told what to do all the time. You can't just say, oh, you have to be a contrarian to what the popular belief system is, because the popular belief system is retarded, Okay, if you keep listening to rappers and actors and the TV people, they're doing, they're just puppets that are designed and they work to manipulate you with lies, to control your mind, control you politically, to tell you what to do. We have to think independently with our own minds and our own opinions and our own views, okay? Independent from what the control system wants you to believe, okay? And that's why do you think, oh, there's so much censorship in the social media? Because they want to control your mind. They don't want you to see the things that are going to wake you up. They want you to have a certain view, and they control you, and they think that they own you, okay? So there you go. And that's why the cancel culture is a complete manipulation of black people, try to make them feel like they're victims of everything, so that way they don't see themselves as a part of everyone else. They see themselves as a separate entity, right? And then that way it keeps them divided. And even if you got the reparations checks, every time you got a check, it would be only a reminder to tell you how victimized you are, and then it's just going to ruin the self-esteem of black people because anybody that supports reparations doesn't realize that that's racism against themselves, right? Because it's like saying, oh, you need money to be successful. You need free money for doing nothing just to be successful like everyone else. That's ridiculous. That's like giving someone a crutch, right? Because that's like treating someone like they can't do anything themselves, so they need all this extra money because they can't do it. It's like, that's ridiculous, you know? It's all of it's crazy. And that's why I want to point this out, and I want to share this with people, because people have to start expanding their consciousness and stop being restricted and believing that, oh, your skin color is different and that's why you're treated differently, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, okay? That's not real. People care about each other, okay? And I see it everywhere in my life. People care about each other. And people care about skin. Every skin color doesn't even matter, because we're creations of God. We're life. It doesn't matter what the color is. It's just ridiculous. It's insane. It's insane. Stop living in the past, okay? And so that's why black people have to be independent in order to be empowered, okay? And not depend on someone else to solve things and the government welfare programs to pay for everything. That's just going to make you weaker. The government welfare programs is what destroys the black community, because now they're incentivizing black people to not become independent and be free and wealthy. They're making them slaves to the state and doing whatever the state wants them to do, right? So that's why you don't vote for socialism. That's ridiculous. That's going to destroy the whole country. Not just the black community, not just the black people, all right? And once again, we're all one human race. That's my message. And I love you all. See you in the next one.